morning, America. Hello, Chicago. And what's up, West Side? This is P. Ray of Black Excellence Hour, a show for people with high self esteem. You could have been doing anything on this Sunday evening, and you chose to come hang out with me today at Black Excellence Hour. And as always, I appreciate the company. If you are watching live on the Black Excellence Hour's Facebook page or on the Intellectual Radio's YouTube page, be sure to share the live. Share the live. Today's show is called Race is Dead. Race is dead, and Janet Jackson killed it. Yes, she did. So we are going to talk about the difference between ethnicity and race, and why what Janet said was 100% true. Kamala is not a Negro woman. It's never held her ear when she was getting her hair pressed. She does not know what Sunday morning smells like. That's not her thing. She's not us. And Janet busted out. So we're going to talk about that today. But as we do with every single show, we're going to get straight to the show. We started a little late. I had a house fire last week, so that's why we didn't have the show last week. And it burned up everything. My iPad, the ring light, the chair, the laptop. So I had to figure it out how to run the show without those things. So shout out to Intellectual Radio for helping me with the equipment as well as just having my back. So rock with me today. We have a full impact show. First things first, as we always do, we're going to start with a dose of self-esteem.
Built this nation.
Not yet, Donnie. A dose of self-esteem from the greatest president to ever do it, the 45th president, soon to be president number 47, and that is Mr. Donald John Trump Sr. My Donnie,
built this nation. You built this nation.
Uh-oh. Gonna run back, Donnie.
It was such a massive part of it. African Americans built this nation.
So still ridiculous. Nothing changes over here. There's got to be something on there over there.
It's just starting to get. You built the nation. We all built it, but you were such a massive part of it.
It's the man.
Bigger than you were given credit for. Does that make sense? Right? Generations of blood, sweat, and tears, and you deserve a government that defends your interests, protects your families, and cares for our own citizens first. Everyone in all our heart to reverse the pain inflicted by Democrat leaders and to deliver hope and opportunity and prosperity for all Americans, but for African American communities all throughout our land. And our agenda is lifting up citizens of every background, race, religion, color, and creed. But while we are fighting every day to build up our nation, the far left only wants to wreck, ruin, and destroy our nation.
All right. Again, that was Donald Trump, my guy, my Donnie. Y'all can share him. It's more than enough to go around, and everybody better get on board, because if we don't get this right, oh my God, America is going to be a whole other place. First things first, let's talk about the fact that Mayor Brandon Johnson went to a meeting this week to convene with other mayors of sanctuary cities from around the world, and they went to talk about how they could take on more migrants. Even though we keep saying that we don't want migrants, we don't want them to be here, we didn't ask for them, but he went to go link up with some people to ask them how they could get some more, and we don't understand why Brandon Johnson... Sorry about that. We don't understand how he is doing this. So let's do this again. Brandon Johnson went to a meeting last week to convene with mayors from around the world to figure out how they are adapting to their immigrant influxes, because they're going to figure out how to push some more here, right? So they want to figure out how other people are doing. We're trying to get them to go home, and they're trying to figure out how to let them stay. Roll tape.
The lure of new jobs brought in thousands of Haitian migrants and ended up stretching some city resources. Now, mayors from cities across the Western Hemisphere are getting together to share ideas and information on how to adapt to the growing population of immigrants in their cities. CBS News correspondent Lilia Luciano spoke to some of the members of the mayor's migration task force, including the mayor of Chicago, who emphasized the importance of cohesion between governments in order to see the true benefits that migrants can provide.
So what is the economic impact of the growing immigrant population in Chicago? And would you say now in hindsight that it was good policy to bus migrants to cities that could have those resources and jobs like Chicago?
Well, the economic impact in the city of Chicago and around the globe is tremendous. What we have seen over the course of time, particularly in these United States, is that we're talking about trillions of dollars of investment. These individuals pay taxes. They actually contribute to our economy. They're not just workers, but they are taxpayers, right? As far as policy is concerned, the governor of Texas, his unwillingness to coordinate and cooperate with cities around America was actually quite irresponsible and dangerous. These individuals were being sent particularly to cities that were ran by Democrats and cities that were ran by individuals of color. So his intentions weren't pure.
It's not an issue.
Wait a minute. Did y'all hear what Brandon just said? First off, he said that the Venezuelans that they bust up here are actually working and paying taxes. Who? If they're working and paying taxes, why have property taxes gone up? Why are we $235 million in the hole for 2024 and $989 million anticipated in the hole for fiscal year 2025? Brandon Johnson got on national TV and told a bold-faced lie. In real life, I just played it for you. And then when they asked him, in hindsight, would it have been a bad idea to push the buses to Chicago? He said that the governor of Texas sent the buses to cities where they had mayors of color and that they were Democrats. But we know for a fact that Mayor Eric Adams of New York, which we'll get to in a moment because Eric Adams is off the chain, but Eric Adams was also busing illegals to Chicago. We know that the governor of Denver, Colorado was also busing illegals to Chicago. We also know that the governor of Arizona, who is also a Democrat, was busing illegals to Chicago. So this was not a partisan issue. This was not a black people issue or mayors of color issue. It's the fact that we are a sanctuary city. And he went to figure out how we can make Chicago more comfortable for the illegals on top of lying and saying that these people are working and paying taxes. And we know that they're not. We know, they're getting all of this rent money, right, through housing subsidies that have now caused Americans to lose their homes because the housing subsidies that they're giving to them are higher than market rate rent. We also know that they're getting food stamp money. We also know that they are getting health care. We also know that they are getting cars, shoes, jewelry, you name it. And the mayor got on TV and lied and said that they're paying taxes. And that's why P. Ray keeps her foot on his neck. A lot of people say, P. Ray, you be bullying him. I'm not bullying the mayor. I am not bullying the mayor. I just know that we deserve better as Americans. This is not about anything but getting the things that Americans deserve. Moving on. There is also a referendum that needs to be discussed. When we went to City Hall 3 Fridays ago to the immigration meeting, I stated to the committee that we did not want any more money to go to the illegals. I actually said that they have not paid any money into the system. I don't understand why we're giving them the money. This does not make any sense. So then Carlos Rosa responded and said, well, we're going to do this referendum where taxpayers or voters are going to be able to tax millionaires to pay so that we can house everyone. Well, this is a 3% income tax on individual income owners individual income earners who make over $1 million. And so that means that if you make over $1 million and you're a resident of the city of Chicago, you're going to be taxed at least $30,000. They anticipate that if this passes, it's going to add $4.5 billion of new revenue to the city annually. This is going to be a referendum, so it's non-binding, but they want us to vote to do this. And because the mayor voted against us being able to vote whether or not we want to be a sanctuary city, we're going to vote no to all of his referendums. Every single thing that he pushes out, we're going to say no because we didn't get to decide if we wanted to be a sanctuary city. And if you are a millionaire, why would you pay $30,000 to live in Chicago? You can live in Maywood, you can live in Bellwood, you can live in Oak Park, you can live in the south suburbs, you can live in Skokie, you can live in Evanston. Why would you pay $30,000 of extra taxes to live in the city? So make sure you vote no for that. It doesn't make any sense. It's actually going to cause high earners to flee the city because, again, they're going to have to pay $30,000 to live here. Moving on, ShotSpotter. Last week, ShotSpotter was voted or canceled by the city of Chicago, the contract. And so after much discussion, Mayor Johnson decided that he was going to veto the vote that the city council passed, and this was passed with 37 aldermen voted so that they could keep ShotSpotter. And what they wanted to do was give the approval of whether or not ShotSpotter should be kept to the superintendent of police, Larry Snelling. And this would have allowed him to sign a new contract, and then Chicago would be able to keep ShotSpotter. Well, friends, Brandon said, I said, no, we are not getting it, and I am going to veto your vote. He also said that the ordinance itself was illegal, and it left him no choice but to veto it. He said that the reason that he's doing this is because it's a violation of the Separation of Powers Act, and the legislative branch, which is the city council, cannot compel the executive branch to act, which is Brandon. And so what he's saying is that the city council cannot force him into a contract because contracts can only be signed by the executive branch, which is him. So this is going to be a huge court fight because Alderman Moore told Mayor Johnson, see you in court. With that being said, Lord have mercy. With that being said, we have seen since ShotSpotter went away that Chicago has gotten more dangerous. With that being said, less than 24 hours after they turned off ShotSpotter, a woman was found in a Southside alley, and she had been shot and critically injured, and she was on a street that was previously serviced by ShotSpotter. Nobody called 911 to report hearing gunshots in the area, and nobody called to report a shooting victim. They said that a 30-year-old woman was found on a sidewalk in a 7700 block of Dobson around 9:15 on Monday. She suffered 2 gunshot wounds to her leg and was taken in critical condition to the University of Chicago Medical Center. She said that a black man in a car shot her. They also said that they found gun casings all around her. However, again, ShotSpotter would have caught this. It could not have done it because the contract was ended by Mayor Johnson. However, the alderman of that ward, Alderman Michelle Harris, actually said that she wanted to keep ShotSpotter, and she stood with the other 36 members who voted to keep it. This is really tricky because typically she is lockstep with the mayor, but this time she was not. So that's the first woman that was hurt. Again, multiple people have gotten shot, but less than 24 hours, they found somebody on the sidewalk, and then they found a woman in the alley who had been dead for at least a day. One day she was laying out there. They actually said she was laying out there for 2 days. And she was found shot to death on Saturday, yesterday. And they also said that this alley was monitored by ShotSpotter. They said that she was found on the 9500 block of South Avenue Inn around 9:30 a.m. after a resident called 911 to report that a woman had been lying in the same spot for 2 days. The police said that the woman, who still remains unidentified, had suffered gunshot wounds. Now, when the police officers got there, they asked, "Did we have any shot spotters?" And then he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, we don't have shot spotter. Disregard." What? Now, it's also important to point out that Alderman Peter Chico of the 10th Ward, where the woman's body was found, also vocally supported ShotSpotter and urged the mayor to keep it. He actually said, "I've used ShotSpotter. I've seen what happens. I've seen it work." He recalled using the technology to find a wounded gunshot victim when no one called 911. That body I saw there many, many times, we cannot put a price tag on that. So 3 people so far, y'all, have been shot and found by the Chicago police when ShotSpotter should have found them. And this is why, again, y'all, please, 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 no more blue, no matter who. This is what you get with the progressives. This is what you get when you follow these people who are not fighting for you, but for a cause that may not include you. See, these people are anti-police. And so now that they've gotten rid of ShotSpotter, now they also want to get rid of the cameras. What? Not the red light cameras, not the speed cameras, but the Chicago police cameras. They're trying to get rid of those as well because they are pushing a platform, not anything for the citizens of Chicago. And that's why we got to get rid of them. It's simple. They cannot serve us. They're not serving us. They don't care what happens to us. And it is time to move on. Before we move on, give me a call. Oh, I have a call here. Let's see if this works. I'm doing everything from my phone today. Welcome to Black Excellence Hour.
Bottom line yesterday where I first met you.
This is the gun guy.
Hey, gun guy. Hey.
How you doing? Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon.
Here's the problem right here, and the voters and everybody in the city of Chicago need to understand. If ShotSpotter 100% foolproof, no, because ShotSpotter would detect the shooting, it won't stop the shooting at the day, and it won't stop people from becoming victims. So we got to understand what ShotSpotter will do. Now, here's the thing. Here's the plan with Brandon Johnson. He wants more crime to commit in the city of Chicago. Right? What's that guy's name? What's the alderman name? The Hispanic guy?
Oh, Carlos or Byron?
Carlos.
Yeah, Carlos Rosa.
He wanted ShotSpotter down too. Carlos Rosa, he wanted ShotSpotter down. Ralph Hayes. So what they want to do is create more crime in order to try to get rid of the Second Amendment in the city of Chicago to stop us from having our own guns to defend ourselves. So if you look at it, the only person who can defend ourselves from a shooting incident or trying to become a victim are ourselves. So when Brandon Johnson knows exactly what he did or what he has done, he put more lives in danger because after ShotSpotter, even people over there, there was a shooting incident off of Union right near the Maxwell Street hot dog stand.
Oh, yeah.
So that was, yeah. So if that's why Brandon Johnson are doing it. So now, we don't even know if the Venezuelans that's in the city of Chicago going to start committing crimes as well because Brandon Johnson is protecting them. That's his set right there to keep. So what we need to do, we need to not only tell Brandon Johnson what's going to happen, we're going to have to make a terroristic threat about this situation that we're in. And one thing about this is that the gun owners like myself and you, is we're going to have to let them know what can happen and what will happen. But we got to be careful because once they confiscate these guns here, that's it. They're going to take these guns, they're going to say, the police going to say, well, we're investigating. Then the following week or two, we're still investigating and stuff. That's doing right here, especially black. And it's more shooting victims among blacks than any other nationality in the city of Chicago. So you got to be very careful what Brandon Johnson's doing. And it's not the police. We cannot put it on the police superintendent because the police is not going to respond to every crime that's going on in here. There's over 8 million people in the city. So we got to really arm ourselves now. It's time to arm ourselves. Because now, as far as the presidential election, this is the most critical election that we are facing right now. We got, 38, 37 more days before that time has come. And now the Democrats are trying to do whatever they can to put Kamala in and take Trump out. She already said she's going to do mandatory universal background checks, more red flag laws and stuff. And then the death blow could be that he could come in our home and confiscate the gun.
Yeah, there's
so we got him. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I say, so now we really got to make our votes matter and make our votes count. Because now they already doing early voting right now. It ain't no telling if those votes, are they voting for dead people? Are they getting the ballots from dead people? We don't know what the Democrats are doing right now and stuff. So we have to really we got to put them under a microscope now.
Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you.
773-345-9977. 773-345-9977. Let's take another call. Welcome to Black Excellence Hour.
Hi, P-Ray. This is Michael from the South Side. Thank you so much for taking my call. And once again, I offer my deep sympathies to you and baby love.
Oh, thank you.
Because, that fire is, I'm sure pretty devastating. So my deep sympathies, and I wish you both a speedy recovery. Two things. I sent Mayor Johnson a letter expressing the need for shot spotter back in April. I sent it to him. I sent it to the police commissioner, the superintendent, and I also copied my alderman, William Hall. Never heard back from any one of those people. Very disappointed. And one other point I should make. I just walked in the door, so I may be jumping ahead of you, but I agree with Janet Jackson.
Oh, yeah, we definitely agree with Janet Jackson. 1,000% we agree with Janet Jackson. And I thank you for leading me into that, because they have been playing with the Jacksons all week long as if they are not Negro royalty. Did they really think we were going to get into it with the Jacksons over Kamala Harris?
Right. Well, at least we know the Jacksons are black. But have you noticed one thing about the media coverage of Kamala Harris? It's weird that the media hasn't tracked down her dad yet, but we haven't seen not one black relative.
Yeah, no cousins, no aunties, uncles, nobody.
So, yeah, I'm thinking that maybe Donald Trump and Janet Jackson were on to something.
I agree. Thank you, Michael.
Well, thank you, P-Ray, and best wishes.
Thank you. 773-345-9977. 773-345-9977. We all know what happened with Janet, so we're going to just go through it really, really quickly. Janet Jackson is currently doing the Together Again tour across Europe. And so she stopped to do some media because we know that Janet is very shy. However, she decided that she was going to do this expose in Europe. And so they asked her, what did she think about what did Janet Jackson believe or think about the fact that Kamala Harris might become the United States' first black woman president? And Janet replied, she's not black. That's what I heard. She also said that she said that she heard that her father is white and that she's Indian. She said, I haven't watched the news in a few days. However, the woman who interviewed her, who is Nosheen Iqbal, I'm looking at this last name. It's definitely Arab. She was floored at the fact that Janet Jackson did not accept Kamala Harris as a black woman. She then said, honestly, I don't know. I don't want to answer that because truthfully, I don't know. Either way, I think it's going to be mayhem. And so then people just start going in on Janet Jackson right after Tito passed. Rest in peace to Tito Jackson. They haven't even had the funeral yet, and they are messing with their baby sister. So they were saying that she was foolish and super ignorant, out of touch. D.L. Hughley was like, how could she say that when she's talking out of a white woman's nose? Her brother bleached himself. They don't even know what color they are. And I'm like, everybody knows that the Jacksons are black, right? I digress. So then an alleged representative for Janet Jackson named Mo El Masiri, who is also Arab, said that Janet Jackson apologized, and he said that Janet recognizes that her statements regarding Vice President Kamala Harris's racial identity were based on misinformation. They also said that Janet praised the diversity that Kamala represents, and she's committed to promoting unity and understanding. Well, friends, Janet came out and said, I didn't tell him to say that. Matter of fact, he does not even work for me anymore. I didn't ask him to speak on my behalf. I said what I said. So then El Masari comes back and he says that he was dismissed from the team after he attempted to repair her public image. He said that my goal was to address the concerns raised by her fans and the public who were surprised by her remarks. I continue to stand by my actions and support Vice President Kamala Harris. He lost his good Jackson job standing up for Kamala Harris. And I bet she's not even going to send him a dime. So, today's show is about, is race dead? Because, see, we also know that Candace Owens did an expose on Kamala this week. And she pointed out the fact that that picture of Kamala and that older black woman that she's standing next to, that is not Kamala's grandmother. Kamala's grandmother actually passed away 4 years before she was born. So we have no clue about who this woman is, okay? But we know for a fact that this is not Kamala Harris's mother, or grandmother rather. Now, people are saying that her family, they're Irish people. However, you can look at Kamala and see that she's obviously part black. Okay, we know what black people look like. Black people stop playing. She is a woman of African descent. However, we know that Kamala's family comes from a group of elite mulatto Jamaicans in Jamaica. So they come from this area where their great-great-grandfather owned all the people, had all the land, and Donald Harris had enough money in 1960 to travel from Jamaica to California on a student visa. The only way you can get a student visa to come to the United States of America is to show that you have money, to have enough money to pay your tuition and enough money to pay your board. So Donald Harris had enough money to immigrate to the United States as a PhD student, which means that he was already educated somewhere else and they paid a whole lot of money to do it. He did all of that and decided to go to Berkeley, or was it Stanford? One of those schools, but a very expensive school in the state of California, okay? Her father's family, they were not poor. They were actually a part of the elites. So they're this mulatto class of people. They know that they're not white. They know that they're not, black Jamaican. And so they exist how they exist. This is why on her birth certificate, it has her mother listed as a Caucasian, because Indians are legally white in the United States, as are Arabs and North Africans and Persians. So those twins from ATL, I think their names are Camilla and something, but they hang out with the Kardashians, those black twins. Legally, they are white women because they are from Iran, and Iranians, Persians are legally white. I digress. So her mother is listed as Caucasian, and her father is listed as Jamaican. Now, what makes that very interesting is the fact that he was not listed as Negro. He was listed as a Jamaican. And if he was seen as a Negro man, an African-American man, a Black American man, an FBA, an ADOS, a freedman, whatever we're calling ourselves now, If he was seen as that, he would have been listed on her birth certificate as a Negro, but he was not. He was listed as a Jamaican. So when people are saying that she's not black, it's not to say that she's not a Jamaican woman. Of course, she's a Jamaican woman. But what we're saying is that she's not a Negro. And I think that we as a people, as American people, have to start acknowledging us being the Negro as an ethnicity and not as a race. Race is dead in the United States of America, and I believe that Janet Jackson killed it. We also know that with Barack Obama, he was a black man, but he was not a Negro man, which is why on his birth certificate, it does not say Negro, it says Kenyan. Why is it offensive to people for Negroes to say this? So we got all of these Venezuelans who just came from South America, and now they're coming up here to the United States of America. Do you think that the Cherokee are going to start accepting them as Native Americans? Are they going to move to the reservations? Are they going to start getting checks and reparations? Absolutely not, friends, because what the natives do is they define, exclude, census, and then go to court. I'm going to say that again. Define, exclude, census, and then they go to court. So when they define themselves and they name themselves. They say, this is who we are. We are the Negro tribe. Okay? Then we exclude. We go throughout the tribe and we kick out everybody in the tribe who is not legally supposed to be here. So in most Native tribes, they put you out at 1/16. So the Negro people can do the same thing because we know that historically we had mulattoes, quadroons, and octoroons. So halves, quarters, and eighths. So we can have that, follow that same thing, and those would be the people who are included in our Negro tribe. Then you census. When you census, you go around and you get a count of everybody based on the legal documents that you have available. We as Negro people, if we go to the 1960s, as recently as the 1960s, if you have any ancestor who has a birth certificate that says colored or Negro, you qualify for the tribe. And then we go to court and we get ourselves defined as an ethnicity so we can stop letting people play in our face. See, if we don't define ourselves, what's going to continue to happen is that they're going to put these people with black faces in front of us, but they're not Negro people. And so when they get in office and they don't do things for Negro people, Negroes are all up in arms. And they're like, oh, Lord, they didn't do anything for us. And we voted at 98%. Well, they're not a part of the tribe. They don't know what we're going through. They don't know what we need. Even their proximity does not make them a part of who we are. It's okay to say that, y'all. It's okay to delineate. Because even now, I watched a video, and maybe I'll play it, but I watched a video of a guy in Ohio. And he was speaking before the Springfield Council. And he said that a lot of people think that white people are being racist when we're talking about the problems that we're having here with Haitians. But these people are not African Americans. These aren't our people. These are the Haitians that we're talking about. This is not a racial discussion. And I'm like, even the white people are starting to delineate now. Even they are starting to say, wait a minute, we know who we belong to, we know who's a part of our group, and we know who is not a part of our group. And I think that it's time for us to really get that going. Because if we are serious about the reparations conversation, which a lot of people are saying that they're going to base their vote upon, then we have to define ourselves. Because what will happen is that we'll have people again speaking on our behalf who should not. I'm going to play this guy for you.
Black
Rotate.
People portraying white people as being racist and told that we hate black people. One thing, right now, they're trying to misconstrue things here, and the Haitian people are trying to act like they're African Americans that have been here and born and raised here. They're trying to portray themselves as a black American. They're not black Americans. You know? And I want to know why are these people being coddled and pampered and given beautiful life, a life better than I live, off my tax dollars. You know, what's going on with that?
So I'll stop there. We heard the gentleman say that these people are pretending to be African Americans and they're not. And it's not just the Haitians in Springfield, Ohio. It's people all over this country who are speaking on our behalf and saying we and our ancestors and our people. And these people don't belong to us. Look at Joy Reid, who sits on MSNBC, and she talks about all of this blackness and all of this our ancestors and blah, blah, blah. She is Guyanese and Congolese. She doesn't belong to our tribe. She doesn't belong to our people. And friends, it's okay to say that, cousins. It's okay because we are a North American ethnicity. Now, yes, we are black. Anybody from anyone with ancestors from Africa is considered to be black, and we know this, right? However, us, the Negro people, are 40 million person tribe of North American people who are mixtures of African, Native, and European bloodlines exclusively found in the United States of America. That's us. That's us, y'all. Nobody in the world is like us because I think it's like, so we have mixed people that are like black and white all over the world. We can look at the people from Cape Verde or the people from Martinique or the people, I don't know, even the Arab mixed people who are like the Somalis. We don't look like them. And what makes us different is the fact that we have North American bloodlines. And it's okay for us to say that. We're corn-eating people. We like grits. We like catfish and fried in corn. We like corn on the cob. We like high fructose corn syrup. We like cornbread. We like dressing. We don't eat like other people because we belong to this land. And it's okay for us to say that. What's not okay is for people to attack Negro people for saying you don't belong to our tribe. Why did Janet Jackson have to be cussed out last week by D.L. Hughley? Why did he think that that was appropriate to talk to Michael Jackson's little sister like that? It's because the Democratic Party is really depending upon us not recognizing the fact that a trick is being played on us. They thought that we were going to open the door again because she went to Howard, because she's an AKA. We were going to say, well, that's a black woman. Come on in, black woman, and you can have some of our black political capital. We're not doing that anymore. That time is over and done. So I want to let everybody know that we stand with Janet Jackson. We stand with Penny. We stand with Charlene. We stand with Justice. We stand with Patricia. We stand with, I'm trying to think, what other characters did she play? Let's see. She was Patricia in Why Did I Get Married? She was Justice in Poetic Justice. She was Charlene in Different Strokes, Penny in Good Times. I feel like I'm missing something. But in any case, and to the Jacksons, their baby girl Donk, we are not going to go against our people for Kamala Harris. Race is dead. Race is dead. Black folks, yes, we can be black, but you got to start saying that you're a Negro. You must start saying that you are a Negro so that we can do what we have to do to organize ourselves to get things done how we need them to be accomplished. That's it. No more blackness. Don't call yourself black. Like, even the show is Black Excellence Hour. And now that I know this, it's still going to be Black Excellence Hour. However, I'm going to tell everybody else, no more black, nope, Negro only. Because we are American citizens. And when you say black, that lumps you in with the immigrant class. So now the issues of the immigrant class become issues of the Negro, and that has absolutely nothing to do with us because we are not immigrant people. Like the man just said, they're pretending to be African Americans to make our concerns racist. And this is what we do. The Negro is forced to carry the oppression for everybody around the world. Everybody wants the Negro to step for them and help them, and that speaks to the social and political capital that we have. However, we're using it for ourselves right now. The door is closed. We cannot give any more social and political capital to anybody else at this moment. It must stop. 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 That is not our problem, not our issue. We do not want to fight people about it. We're at home. We're literally at home in our own country with our own language, our own culture, our own food, our own way to worship, our own history. Our ancestors are buried deep into the ground in this nation. And so we can't let other people take our birthright and our sovereignty away from us by telling us things like, oh, the U.S. government, they don't love you. They don't want you. They're going to put you out. If Trump gets back in, they're going to deport you too. Where are they going to deport me to? No, I won't get deported out the United States. But this is what happens when we are black. Because they'll say they're going to deport the black people, and they'll say, Negro, you too. And then people get all up in arms. Oh, I can't go to any other country, so I can't vote for Trump. And then you vote for homegirl, and then we have more open borders. We can't do that to ourselves. We won't do that to ourselves. And that's why, friends, we are delineating. That's the word for today, delineation. No more of us showing up for other people in the middle of an invasion. And it's okay to say that Kamala, don't say she's not black. She is definitely a black woman. Definitely, certainly a black woman, okay? But she is not a Negro woman. And we want her to stop pretending to be a Negro. We don't want to hear any more about her greens that she washed in the bathtub and then boiled in bacon grease with some green chilies and garlic and Tabasco sauce. We don't want to hear about her show greens anymore. We don't want to, no. You need to tell us about jerk chicken and peas and rice and callaloo and festival. Festival is a little tea cake that Jamaicans eat in the morning with their tea and coffee. That's what she can talk about, but not my business. We cannot allow her to do this because what happens is it causes division within our people and people disrespect Janet Jackson. We not under any circumstances are going to disrespect her because she doesn't deserve that. And we know that she was absolutely telling the truth. 773-345-9977, 773-345-9977. Let's move on really quickly before we get to the end of the show. And we're going to talk about Eric Adams. Eric Adams, the mayor of New York. So today, or not today, last week, Eric Adams was indicted on a plethora of charges. Now, we know that initially Mayor Eric Adams was for the sanctuary cities. He had a whole lot of people coming to his city, and then he decided to change his mind and say that he didn't want any more illegals. So I'm going to play this for you.
But I full support. Let me tell you something, New Yorkers. Never in my life have I had a problem that I did not see an ending to. I don't see an ending to this. I don't see an ending to this. This issue will destroy New York City. Destroy New York City. We're getting 10,000 migrants a month. One time we were just getting Venezuela. Now we get Ecuador. Now we get Russian speaking coming through Mexico. Now we get Western Africa. Now we're getting people from all over the globe have made their minds up that they're going to come through the southern part of the border and come into New York City. And everyone is saying it's New York City's problem. Every community in this city is going to be impacted. We have a $12 billion deficit that we're going to have to cut. Every service in this city is going to be impacted. All of us. And so I say to you, as I turn it over to you, this is some of the most educated, some of the most knowledgeable, probably more of my commissioners and deputy commissioners and chiefs live in this community. So as you ask me a question about migrants, tell me what role you played.
Okay, so you heard him say they didn't want any more migrants, aka illegals, to come to New York City. Then he said, blame your city council members because they voted for this too. Well, after Mayor Eric Adams said that, they began to do a federal investigation on him. Listen to this. Rotate. What happened to my tape? Oh, let's go. Rotate. My tape's not taping. All right. I guess we won't listen to that tape. It's okay.
I will say that
The Democrat and former police captain is now the city's first mayor to be charged.
For some reason, it's not giving it to me. Well, he was charged with a plethora of federal crimes, including bribery, conspiracy, and campaign finance violations. Now, initially, when I read about this, now it's working for other ones. Okay.
Situation right now.
Let me stop this. Sorry about that, team. So, initially, when I heard about this, I said to myself, are they just trying to get this good brother? Are they trying to just push him down? Is this an example of Letitia James, who is currently prosecuting Maidani? Is this an example or another example of her overstepping her boundaries when it comes to investigating people? We know that, they are using lawfare, which means to use the law to attack your political opponents. This is what I believe that they are doing with Donald Trump. However, I did some reading and I did some researching, and I found out that he did it, baby. He did it. Let me tell y'all what he did. He thought that he was okay. So they're in this whole conspiracy of this whole I could call it conspiracy. They're in a conspiracy to bring illegals over the border, and this would give him and other mayors political leverage internationally. So he thought that he was like plugged all around the world. So he tried to run a scheme with the Turks, as in the Turkish people. And he was over there collecting all types of money and favors from them. I'm going to read a piece of the indictment to you. And this is why y'all do not believe that you can play the same games as everybody else. Because I'm sure other elected officials are doing stuff like this. But he's the one who got caught. And they caught him right after he said, don't let any more illegals in. So it's like he took the money from these foreign people and then cut them off, and then they told. This is my opinion, but I'm going to read you the indictment. It says, on June 22nd, 2018, the same day as the fundraising event just described, the Adams Schaefer and the promoter discussed by text message a possible trip by Adams to Turkey. He stated that fundraising in Turkey is not legal, but I think we can raise money for your campaign off record. The staffer inquired, how will Adams declare that money here? The promoter, this is the Turkish guy, the promoter responded, he won't declare it. Or, and they have or with the dot, so it's not me saying this. He won't declare it. Or, we'll make a donation through American citizens in the U.S. A Turk. I'll give him the cash in Turkey. Or, I'll send it to an American. He'll make the donation for you. Adam Schaefer replied, I don't think he would get involved in such games. They might cause a big stink later on, but I'll ask anyway. Then the staffer asked, how much money would come from you? The promoter responded, maximum $100,000. The staffer wrote back, $100,000? Do you have a chance to transfer that here? We can't do it while Eric is in Turkey. The promoter said, let me think. And then the staffer went to Eric Adams and asked him, do you think that we should move forward with this money deal? And Eric Adams said yes. Let me tell y'all what he also did. Eric Adams then went to New York City. In New York City, they have what's called the Matching Funds Program. And this matches small dollar donations from individuals in the city with up to 8 times their amount of public funds. And that's a way to give regular old New Yorkers a bigger voice in fundraising, because like if you don't have $1 million, then you don't have a voice. So what they do is they'll say if you're from a low income area, then you can have your donation matched 8 times so that your donation is worth as much as a wealthy person's. With all of that being said, Adams' campaign applied for matching funds based on known straw donations and fraudulently obtained as much as $2,000 in public funds for each illegal contribution. Adams and those working at his direction falsely certified compliance with applicable finance regulations despite Adams' repeated acceptance of straw donations. And he wanted them to conceal the true nature of the illegal contributions to falsely portray his campaign as law-abiding. As a result of those certifications, Mayor Adams' 2021 mayoral campaign received more than $10 million in campaign funds. He going to jail. And see what we have to do. What we have to do, y'all, is when things like this happen, don't rush and say that it's because you black, or don't rush to say it's lawfare like I did. I really thought that she was like hating on my man, and she was mad that he didn't want the illegals to be there. No, he cut off the pipeline for the illegals, and they told on him. And this is why you cannot get in these deals. This is why you have to, again, focus on the American people. That's it. If you focus on the American people, you won't have these issues. You won't have the issue of people lying on you, or you're getting caught with your hand in a cookie jar. And if Eric Adams did not speak against the illegals, he probably would have been at the sanctuary city planning event with Brandon. So they're all in cahoots with this. We also have to remember that the CTU has gone down to Venezuela several times in the past 10 years. Of course, they have deals down there working with the people, guys. So whatever happened to Mayor Eric Adams, whatever audits happened, whatever went down, we want them to come to the city of Chicago too and check it out with the Venezuelans. See, everything is coming to light, y'all. We are in the age of Aquarius. And when you're in the age of Aquarius, you cannot lie, steal, cheat, or do anything of the sort, because you're definitely, certainly going to be called out. I also want to give a shout out to Chicago Red, because we have led the city in... not the city, excuse me. We have led the country in holding your government accountable. We have more and more videos of people going up to city halls around the country and telling people that they're done with the Democratic Party. We have more and more people talking about property tax issues and the fact that the illegals are making their quality of life bad. Now, before we took the lead, people would not go and say those things because they were afraid of being seen as racist. But when beautiful black people from the west and south sides of Chicago went down there and got on the mic and said the same thing that they were thinking, then we gave America courage. So shout out to everybody who is making this work, who has our movement popping, because y'all, we are winning, and we are winning big. Everything that they're doing, everything that they think that they're getting away with, none of it is working, because right now the American people are united, and we are united strong. I don't hear about no racism. I don't hear about no sexism. I don't want to hear about no isms until November 6th. Until then, November 5th, everybody needs to be on board to stop the invasion. Nothing more, nothing less. Do your part. Get people registered to vote. Every Tuesday from now until the election, wear your MAGA cap. Let's do MAGA Tuesdays in Chicago. Everybody throw your MAGA hat on, walk around the city, let other people know that they're not alone in wanting to vote for Donald Trump. Because each and every person that you're talking to that says that they don't know who they're voting for yet, they definitely know who they're voting for. They definitely, beyond a shadow of a doubt, 100% are voting MAGA, but they don't feel comfortable doing it. I just put my MAGA sign in my yard. Today, it went outside. It's a red Trump sign. It's in the yard. Do your thing. Everybody, do your part. We got to let the people know that what they've been doing is not okay. Now we have mayors of major cities making deals with international governments. Mayor Eric Adams also in that indictment. The Turks built a skyscraper in Manhattan, and they wanted the skyscraper to be available for the president of Turkey when he arrived. However, the building was not up to code. Well, Mayor Eric Adams called the New York Fire Department and told them to look around every single violation they had and make sure that the building was open for the Turkish president. No, you going to jail, honey. You going to jail. And this is what we want. So as these people are getting locked up, don't feel sorry for them. We're in the age of Aquarius. This is the time where we're going to see retribution for everything and every lie that people have been pushing on us. And it's a time of freedom. The Negro right now is so on board. We are so patriotic at this time. We haven't been patriotic like this, I can't think, since September 11th. Because right now, we are all on board with the same goal, with the same task, and that's to preserve our country. If you are not supporting the MAGA movement, that's fine. That's your business. I'm not going to fight you. I don't want to argue. I don't want to fight. I just want you to leave us alone, okay? Don't get in our way. Don't talk no mess. Don't talk no trash. I think we got a call. Somebody just decided to call the number. Hold on. Let's go. Let's see. Welcome to Black Excellence Hour. Hello. Hey, Richard.
Who's it?
This is P. Ray of Black Excellence Hour.
Great cat. To the show. Mario, I'm online. I'm going to have to get me on as soon as he can.
You're listening to my show?
What's that?
Whose show are you looking for?
Mario.
Oh, wrong. No, I'm not on. I'm not. That's the other show in the other studio.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. No, but I can find out. All right, give us a call back, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. 773-345-9977. 773-345-9977. I never had somebody else call me. He could have been like, what's up? But that's okay. That's his business. With that being said, no, for real, we are on code right now. It does not make you a racist. It does not make you a xenophobe. It does not make you a bootleg. It does not make you any of these bad names that they want to call Black patriots right now. We have nowhere to go. The last time that the Negro had to run out of this country was for the Democratic Party because they were harassing freedmen who had to find refuge in Canada. And then P. Ray ran out of the country to get away from the Democrats in Chicago. So we're not running from them anymore. We're just going to walk away from them very calmly, very in order, very demure, and that's it. It's okay. When I tell you it's okay, it's okay. It's okay to be fed up. It's okay to demand and desire more. Because we deserve more than what we're getting. We deserve more than high taxes and corruption and deals and them playing with the shot spotter, trying to defund the police, and women being dead in alleys for days, and children not having school buses. We deserve all of it. And, you know, on my block last night, there was a really bad car accident at the corner of my block. And we have accidents here like every 2 weeks. And so last night the accident was so bad that the woman's car actually flipped over, and she was on, like, the car was flipped over so the wheels were up and they had to like go out and pull her out the car. It was a lot. But we've been asking the city of Chicago for a stop sign for at least 15 years, at least. So we've been really pressuring the alderman. We did our work. She came back and said, okay, the city did a traffic study, and they said that putting a stop sign there would be detrimental to the traffic flow. So they had to do a study to prevent us from having car accidents on our block that we've had every 2 weeks my entire life. But they didn't study for the illegals. They didn't study to give them any money. They didn't study to give them any time. They didn't study to give them any resources. They didn't study to give them any homes. Whenever it's time for Americans to get things done, the only thing that the Democrats have for us is a study. And we want action. So join me in MAGA. Chicago is MAGA country. Join us. Come on. We got enough room for everybody who needs to get whatever they need done accomplished. A lot of people will say, well, oh, with MAGA, there are white supremacists over there. Okay, because guess what? If the invasion goes down, we need them to come with their guns and their bombs and their grenades. One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All Americans are sticking together right now. Don't think about those people when you're trying to save yourself and your own country. It's for us. It's for us. And after we stop the invasion, we can go back to fighting them. But right now, all American people gotta stick together because there's about to be a huge shakeup in this land. Right now, in the state of Georgia, a biomedical factory or a biomedical lab is on fire, putting thick plumes of smoke into the air right now. The people were told to close their doors and their windows and don't run their air conditioning because they don't know what's coming in the air. We got to stick together because we don't know what caused that explosion. We let all these people over the border. Why wouldn't they start committing terrorist attacks? We now have in the Tennessee Valley, that entire area is completely flooded out from a storm that didn't even directly hit them. Who blew up the dams? These could be, again, people who came over the border to blow up the dams. People who came over the border to blow up the factories, the chemical, the biolabs. We don't know who's here. So right now, we got to stick together. That's it. One move, people. No more fighting, no more fussing. Now, that's hard for P-Ray because y'all know when people fight me, I love to fight them back. But I had to get rid of that feeling because I don't want to argue with Americans over who to vote for. Let them, if they want to vote for Kamala and her lies and her greens washed in the bathtub, boiled in chicken grease, and bacon grease with green chilies, garlic, and Tabasco sauce, let them do it. But in the meantime, in between time, we are sticking together, America. We are sticking together, Chicago. The move in November is to vote for Donald Trump. If you don't vote for Donald Trump, you don't care about yourself. You don't care about your family. You don't care about your neighbors. You don't care about our city. And I know you love it as much as I do. I know you love them as much as I do. I know you love yourself as much as I do. So show high self-esteem and join MAGA, because to put Americans first is to put you first, because you are an American. No matter what they try to tell you, no matter how much they lie to you, we at home. We are at home. So one people, one sound, and we're going to defeat these globalists together. These progressives are pushing a global agenda because they want to look altruistic rather than patriotic, because their self-esteem is so low that they can't even love themselves in their own country. They can't even love the country that their ancestors built for them. So we got to leave them alone. Leave them where they at. We don't even want them people on Team MAGA. We don't want them on Team MAGA. They need to figure out what they're gonna do, but we not. Stay where y'all are at. The show has been going on for a minute. I want to end the show by saying again, my house burned up. So I do have a GoFundMe on the Black Excellence Hours Facebook page and my personal Facebook page. Be sure to donate if you can. We got to just wait for the insurance to do what they have to do. But in the meantime, in between time, we got to make it work. It's like I said, it's burnt out. It was an electrical fire. But the fact that my iPad, my chair, my ring light, my laptop, everything that I use to broadcast, like burnt up. And I'm like, how did this happen? But I know it's some juju, and I want to tell you, whoever sent it to me, you missed. But with that being said, just again, know that we are serious about this MAGA movement. We are serious about saving our city. We are serious about preserving the birthright that our ancestors gave to us. This is not a game. This is not a game. This is not a joke. And to my Negro people, embrace Negro. The Negro League, the Negro National Anthem, the United Negro College Fund. All of those things are for the Negro because we've been well defined and well documented. Don't let foreign people come and tell you, oh, you don't know who you are. We do know who we are. We are extremely well documented in this country, and our written records go back further than theirs. So that's what I got for today. I was trying to see. Someone told me that they were going to give us a call, but I'm just waiting so that we can get this wrapped up. Is that Mr. Urk? Yeah, can we wrap it up? I'm sorry, I don't want to say it like that. Do I have more time?
It's up to you.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna wrap up in 5 minutes. So again, if you want to give me a call, join the conversation. 773-345-9977. I didn't even think I was going to be able to do today's show because I didn't have the equipment, and bam, it is working like a charm. Praise God. Again, that's all I got. Candace, like I said, can't watch Candace's documentary on Kamala. I believe it, but then I don't believe it because, like I said, I know for a fact that Kamala is a mulatto woman. She comes from the ruling mulatto elites, and we can see that because her daddy had enough money to travel. Her mama comes from an elite family in India because she had enough money to travel. Her grandfather was a British civil servant in Zambia, so she took multiple international trips as a child in the 60s and the 70s. Were your parents going on international trips? No, they was taking car rides to Mississippi, Memphis, Arkansas. That's where they were going. Maybe you can go to the Wisconsin Dells, but they definitely were not getting on a plane riding to Southeast Africa. So when they try to say that these are middle-class people, they are not. Don't get yourself be cosplayed. We are better than this. Please gatekeep the culture, gatekeep the ethnicity, and celebrate the flag. With that being said, Mr. Earl, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you. Shout out to Intellectual Radio for being gracious enough to deal with P-Ray and Black Excellence Hour. People are always like, ooh, that girl too much. But one thing about me, I do not lie. I don't lie. I'm not here to trick anybody. I'm not here to tell you anything that's going to make you make a bad decision, because the decisions that you make impact me. My decisions impact you. And we together, okay, at least until November 6th. Be sure to make sure that you are registered to vote and that you are taking your people up there to vote. Because if not, oh my God, it's going to be bad for not only the Negro, but all Americans. You, me, your mama, you, me, your mama, your children, your neighbors, that girl that live down the street that you don't like. Everybody's going to have a hard time if we do not get this together. Because we are at home. And when you're at your own, when you're at your own house, you can do what you want to do with the money that you are putting in your own crib. We are paying taxes. Our parents paid taxes. Our grandparents paid taxes. Our great-grandparents paid taxes. Every road, every pipe, every piece of grass, every tree was planted. We paid on it. So we get to decide how our money is being spent. We get to decide who comes in our house. And we get to decide our own political future. Being MAGA is a show of self-esteem, especially as a Negro person, especially as a child of a freedman, because our people bled for this country. And anybody who's telling you that you're wrong, tell them the door is open. If you don't like it here, you can leave. You can go back to where you came from. You can pick a country, because we don't need that here. This is P-Ray of Black Excellence Hour, a show for people with high self-esteem. Be sure to share the live. Put your MAGA cap on Tuesday, and I'll see y'all in a little while. Mwah. Ciao.